I don't judge because like I said, like I wasn't looking for interviews when I found you. I saw your picture and I knew God told me. God said, "Do that interview." Trust me.
And I'm happy that you did. I'm happy that you reached out, and I'm happy that you, if that's how you feel, God connected with you. I'm so happy you took a leap of faith, because a lot of times God tells us stuff and we don't listen, or we ignore it, and then He gotta like force us in a position when you should just be obedient when you're being instructed.
And I learned that the hard way. I'm not gonna get too into that, but I started modeling and I was in Hollywood, and that was a really hard experience for me. And then that's where I learned, like, yo, this shit is no joke. And not listening to God almost costed me a lot more than it should have.
No, for real.
It honestly costed me damn near everything.
Bro. No, it will. And sometimes God puts you in situations like that to lead you back to Him, so you can hear His voice clear, because clearly you ain't listening. No, that's how He be thinking, like, clearly.
Right when I got home, I was able to speak to God again. It's like when I was in Hollywood, I was disconnected.
So you lived in LA for a little bit?
For like a month or two.
Oh, okay.
Not too long.
All right. What year?
It was like 2022.
Okay, that's what's up. And you're in New York now?
Yeah, I'm in New York.
But what you like New York better?
Yeah. I feel like I liked that Hollywood. It just wasn't safe.
Yeah.
I feel like
it gets grimy.
Safe. It gets grimy.
It can get grimy.
Too grimy. You like
and if you don't know nothing about nothing, you could find yourself in a tough spot, a rock in a hard place.
That was me, for real. And the shit I seen, the shit I heard, the shit I know, it's like you can't even look at.
Oh no, then I got questions.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put you on. Oh yeah, I should ask you about that. What's your thoughts on Diddy?
If he did that shit, lock his ass up. If he did that shit, I don't know the logistics of the case, but if he did that shit, lock his ass up.
Right. That's my phone. Tajay, you can pass my phone. My phone. I got it.
Look, I'm over here digging.
My bad.
You good?
I'm over here digging. Okay, so honestly, that shit with Cassie was treacherous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he definitely deserves some issues for that. But in terms of I don't know how much time they're talking. But if he's doing all that shit that they're saying in terms of the sex trafficking and the drugging bitches and all that, lock his ass up. You're not safe on the streets, nigga. You got too much money to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not cool.
Nah, for real. Because I feel like the way he did her is the way I seen other girls do other girls in the hood. Like when you really fucking them up.
Yeah, and you stomping them out, because that's what my mama always said. Stomp that bitch, kick that bitch in her pussy. Like this is what my mama told me. So you did her like that. It's like you kicked this bitch like a bitch on the street.
And if you read, I read all the documents.
Oh yeah, you like me. You know me.
I'm nosy as fuck. And when I looked into it, bro, like
the things that they're accusing him of,
shit that I seen, it's like the shit that I'm reading is worse than the video.
Yeah,
to be honest.
And he's a Scorpio, so it's like, damn, why you giving us a bad name right now? People already think we off.
But you know what it is too. I feel like a lot of the times the female version of the Zodiac be better.
Always.
Yeah.
You know that.
I can't even lie, because
you know that.
Even like Leos, like July Leos, like I feel like they usually like shy, seductive, quiet,
sneaky
as
well.
But I feel like my mom told me that, very creative. But and I feel like, but even the females, even though they're kind of the same, I do be liking the females better, to be honest. So we talked about okay. And I also want to ask, because there's a lot of other shit I want to get into, but I'm really trying to put it on pause. I want to ask how you got into the industry though.
So I started off modeling when I was little, right? I forgot what happened. My mama had put me in like a little like a bridal shower runway show. It was super small. I might have been at the mall or some shit, right? A dude had seen me and he pretty much was like, I know this other guy that we could hook her up with who does runway. So I started modeling. Like I killed it on the runway. Like I'm trained with that shit. But then people was like, she has too much personality to not to just model. So I was signed up for models for a little bit when I was younger. It was like a prestigious modeling agency. And then they cut their kids division. And so after that, they was like, she needs to go to LA and like actually pursue acting because she has so much personality. And so speaking of that person we had mentioned, his mom, Ray J and Brandy's mom, Sonia Norwood, she was having a talent agency. And she had auditions, and I auditioned and she signed me. So I moved to LA when I was like 11 or 12 years old. I moved to LA and I signed to her, and then the rest was history after that. Of course, that situation didn't end up working out just based off resources, like and stuff like that. But she was awesome. She was great. I didn't have any bad experiences with her, but me and my mom kept going, like, and we just thugged it out. Real shit.
You feel like it was like your mom was a lot of help?
Yes. No, my mom was like the leading lady. Like it wasn't like anything she forced me to do either. My mom just always supported my dreams. Like that's why. Like when I say my mom was a damn good mom. Like when I have everything I need, like that's the person that you're gonna see me flex on the most, because when I like the sacrifices she made just to make sure, even to me, she put me in this very moment where I am because I had to be in LA to experience everything that I experienced, to be here in this moment.
And I think it's cool that we both started out the same way, Mom.
Yeah.
And now that I'm doing podcasting, it's like
which is super dope, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that for real. And I'm happy you're my first guest.
I am too, cause what?
You my second guest, but you my first guest I really had to travel for. Like the first episode, I had my best friend. She had bought my plane ticket to Hollywood, and it changed my life. Even if it was a really hard experience for me, so I was like, I gotta have her on. I'm gonna get this on billboards. I'm gonna do everything I want to do with this show as far as marketing.
I know that's right.
For real.
I love that. You sound ambitious, and it sounds like you believe in yourself.
I believe.
And there's nowhere you can get to without having no belief in yourself. Like that's why a lot of celebrities and artists are narcissists, because you believe in yourself. Even I think all of us can have a little bit of narcissistic traits, like because you really feel like I'm somebody and I'm gonna be somebody. I always felt that way. I always felt like that, and I always was like, it ain't my time. But one day it's gonna be like I'm gonna be able to do the things that I set out to, or that I seen, or that God placed on my vision.
Do you feel like God shows you things?
God showed me everything, like in terms of I've seen me accepting the award, I've seen me experiencing this and completing goals, and I feel like that's God's promise. I was watching a sermon and it said you can miss opportunities, but you can never miss God's promise for you. You might get yourself into something where you got to segue and maneuver in this, but you'll always end up in a place that He has determined for you, because He's really just after us so that we can spread the good news at the highest capacity. So
I like that. So do you feel like you was always like a strong believer in God? Like, is that how you were raised? Or
I was raised that way, but like I said, my family is thuggish, rugged bone. So my grandma would, I would go to like meetings with my grandma and serve with my grandma, but like your grandma like get up and you like no, you don't want to get up all the time. But I remember like when my grandma passed, before she passed, she was like, you need to read your Bible. So I really do feel like after my grandma passed, I've always been a believer in God. Though I've always prayed. I can count how many times I'd maybe forgot a prayer like to go to sleep, but in terms of actually reading my scripture and like meditating with Him, I started that after my grandma passed.
So okay, you into meditation. Have you ever took like shrooms or ayahuasca or had like?
Not ayahuasca, but I done took shrooms before.
Oh, how was that? Tell me about
it. I've had good and bad trips, but I feel like I didn't come with the intention to learn anything. I was having a good time, so I didn't use it how it's supposed to be used. I want to do that in a forest, and I want to just I want to hug trees.
Me too.
I want to do shit like that. I want to go to Peace Bus. I want to listen to music. Like that's what I want to do.
Yeah, like I wanted to travel far to do spiritual work. I really want to heal from everything.
Me as well. I wanted like a national park vibe. Like
bro, you get it.
No real shit. You want to know one of the coolest experiences that I had on shrooms was I took a shower, and this was the time I was going through a lot. I was in like one of my most toxic relationships, and I was just very self-conscious and had self-esteem issues. And I remember when I went in the shower, the shower head started changing colors. Y'all would have thought I was a club. The shit started changing colors, and my spirit was telling me, like, I started giving myself affirmations. I was like, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're enough. And I was like, why am I saying all of this shit? But it was because it was like I needed to hear it. And a lot of times you wanted validation from other people when it's you that needs to be telling yourself that. And I always say my affirmation. That's another reason why I feel like I made it. I'm sure you'll ask that later on, at like the steps that it took for me to be in this moment. But that was one of the most important things.
For sure, because I do feel like I have a best friend. Like she great person, and I feel like I always am catching myself telling. I feel like all my friends like, you the shit, right?
Yeah.
You that nigga, right?
Me too. I'm the uplifter of the group.
Because I feel like you got to be, because like I want you to love yourself how I love you. Like I love you without conditions. Like my best friend called me crying like, I love you because no matter what I do, you'll never leave me. And that's a fact.
That's unconditional,
unconditional, because I just feel like,
and that's actually the definition of real love.
It is genuine, and I always say it's genuine for me. Like I don't want nothing from nobody. I just want to help.
I want to see people win, especially people I love. Bro. Like, and people don't realize you cannot win when your vibrations are low as shit.
Exactly.
You really can't. Like, I'm way more better with my emotions now than what I used to be. But that really, really played a big part in my life, is like learning to keep my frequency raised no matter what, because I trust God fully and overly, and I know that like if something happened, my sister had just told me this quote that she was just spitting some game, and I'm quoting it, but she was saying like, remember that everything that happens in your life was not approved, or it had to go through God. It was His approval before it happened to you, just like the story of Job. So it's like, I take everything now like, okay, it was supposed to happen. I don't get upset or like disgruntled. I don't feel like, damn, this isn't for me. No, you keep pushing.
So you one of those people that believe everything happens for a reason?
Yeah,
right? So
for sure.
Do you feel like when getting here, do you feel like it was like a quick process, or do you feel like it took a really long time?
To get to Atlanta?
No, just like getting to the point where you're successful.
A long time. It's still taking a long time because I have so many goals that I still haven't met yet. But I know I'm exactly where I need to be. Exactly. But like you have to think, I was doing this since I was 3 years old. Like my first commercial was when I was 3 years old. And that was for Baby Gap.
Oh, Baby Gap.
So,
I see you do something like Beep or like the little toy. I forgot what it's called.
Pepper Park for Nickelodeon?
No, it was something else. It was like I seen you in a cigarette commercial.
Oh yeah.
I seen that, and I seen it was like a online website where you could like customize your character.
Pepper Park, yeah.
Yep, that's what it is.
So it's like, and at that time I was going back and forth to LA and the Bay. I was going back and forth. I didn't move yet. I didn't make that move with my mom and my little sister, but I feel like it took a long time. But I realized, like, and they used to fuck me up, like, maybe that's not what I'm supposed to do. It's taking too long. But then you realize, like, you see all of these success stories. Like, even Tyler Perry, he always shares good testimony how he was homeless at, like, 29. And you see where he is now. Like, you can't put a limit on purpose. You can't, there's no time doesn't even exist. It's not linear. And so I feel like at the end of the day, you're right where you're supposed to be. And you trust God. Like, you can't be like, this ain't your process. You're being used. So at the end of the day, you allow that to unfold naturally. And I feel like all the experiences, like I be thinking to myself, I would have made it when I was 6 years old.
Too.
I would meet the people that I know. Like I'd probably be fucked up. I'd probably be a fucked up ass person because I didn't have those real raw experiences in my life.
And just being too easy.
Yeah.
I feel like when it is hard, you learn through things. And
for sure.
Like I keep bringing this up, but like I said, I definitely feel like God told me to interview you. And another thing I saw that I didn't like, I seen you on your ex's stream.
Yeah.
And I seen there was a lot of people commenting stuff about you. And I was like, she probably doesn't care about what they saying, but I'm
not gonna lie, I got badass vision. I didn't even see. No, people be thinking they be eating, but I can't read all that shit. TT can't read that shit.
No, deadass, because you know what it is too, because that automated voice chat shit. So it be going on sometimes. So that shit too. But I just
what they were saying about me.
Because you know how niggas just like, Jordyn. Jordyn.
See, but that's why I had to separate from my ex and his fan base, because I'm not trying to appease to the young niggas that don't get pussy that's looking for me.
Because I'm about to say it's red pill niggas.
Yeah, I'm looking. My demographic is women who want to win, and women who ain't gonna let a nigga put them down. Women who put themselves first, and have a man, have 10. That's what I'm about.
Do you feel like that ex put you down? Because from my perspective as a man, if I'm being honest, it did look like.
I feel like with it was hard. That was my most toxic relationship ever.
It looked emotionally abusive.
It was all the above, but I feel like the same, like it's like people that even build you up break you down, right?
True.
And once again, back to my faith, I feel like I had to go through that situation because I had to build what I was building. It was like to get into social media, like it was a stepping stone at the end of the day. But it was crazy. And the woman that I am is also because of that relationship. Like, I don't take shit no more. I've completely changed after that shit. Like, I wasn't going for none of the bullshit. And I feel like I needed that. It was hard. It really was. That was my most toxic relationship. No one even knows. Like, people have, they see the.
I could feel it. Like,
yeah, that was my most, even to this day, it still is not what people think it is. Like, we cool, but it's so much deeper than people would know. It's really, really deep.
Because before I got here, I saw DDG. Shout out to DDG.
The podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I could be transparent, he does shit like that. I don't know if it's to get a reaction out of me or taunting, but he'll say, we're cool, we cool. Like, we good. No, like, you my dog, after I forgive him for doing some shit that, he fucked me over again. Yeah. And then he'll go right back into some bullshit. So I just learned to let that shit go. It's beneath me.
Right, you're right. And do you feel like it's a form? Do you see it as a form of betrayal?
Immature?
No, betrayal. Do you feel like it's
when I first seen that, that's how it felt. Cause it's like, damn, nigga, again, like we just as cool. But then it's so many moving parts where I'm like, this is not somebody I want validation from. Right. This is not somebody who I look up to career-wise or even as a person. Right. So why would that affect you? And I really had to like sit with myself and of course friends, and I'm like, this nigga, and they're like, girl, y'all, he wants a reaction. Right. And two, this is not even. And two, this is not somebody you would want to, like I said, emulate in any way, because, and that's what I will always tell him, like, you know, it's about being, it's not about the money. It's everything is not about money, real shit. Like, it's not, because it's really about your spirit and your soul. And I feel like getting away from that relationship really healed me. I healed as a woman from that relationship. But there are still components of that relationship that affect me to this day.
I could understand. I feel like it's 100% understandable. And I think anyone who disagrees is wrong, because from, at least from what I see, I feel like I kind of grew up watching.
Right.
And you can kind of feel people's energy. I feel like if you watch somebody, like, I'm one of those people, if I see you enough, I can kind of feel you out, sort of. So it's like I could kind of see that there was things going on behind the scenes.
Right, right.
People paying attention
that nobody would ever know. And maybe one day I'll talk about it, but it's like nobody would ever know the things that I had to go through. Like, it was dark. Like, it was great. Like, I give him his props because he did introduce me to a lot of things as a growing young woman, because he had those resources and things like that. And just us being friends since we were 13, like, we had it, but he changed.
Right. You think it was money and fame?
Yeah, 1000%. Because quiet as kept loud as ever, he used to get bullied. I was older. I was a year older than him well, really I'm like 3 months older than him, but I don't know. I think I started school early, so he was in a grade below me. But I always loved his ambition. Like I said, I'm always rooting for the underdog. And so when people be like, "Get the fuck out of my face," with the whole "Can you follow me? Can you follow me?" Bitches like he's annoying, things like that. I always was like, he gonna be somebody one day. He gonna be somebody one day. I would support that nigga. And I think once he got on, it was like, you know, he has built a persona, you know, because I mean, I guess, you know, you could tell yourself, like, shit, if people shitted on you and you finally get that moment, how you gonna handle it? But that's not me, though, because I've been shitting on and things like that. But I got a hit list of niggas I'm gonna shit on. I'm not shitting on everybody, because that's what do they got to do with this? Especially other people that have dreams and stuff. What do I look like giving them that impression of me?
I feel like I've definitely experienced that. Like, I feel like me, like, when I was younger, I was bullied, abused, every way you could think of. And it was not easy for me. So I feel like at some point, I don't know what happened, and I just became popular, and there was prom king all the time. There was everywhere I went, I was always felt like somebody, or people were just really on me heavy,
gravitating towards you.
Like, just effortlessly. And me, I wasn't used to, like, being around people in a capacity without being hurt in a way. So I just was like always, like, not talkative. Like, I just want to get away. Like, da 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 da. But these days, I'm really trying to come back to myself and learn that somebody took my voice and I want it back.
I really like you, because people would try to take your voice, and I feel like it hurts him that I gained it, because he would be like, "You're not gonna be shit after me," like, you know.
I've experienced
and I made something of myself, and I'm not done yet, like, type shit.
Done.
And so it's like I put myself in the rooms, like, you know what I'm saying. And so I think he never thought that I would.
Someone told me that too, and look, and I say the same.